Alright, so today we'll talk about dynamics of circular motion. Now here we'll talk about the cause of circular motion. While studying the kinetics of circular motion, we were not bothered about the cause of circular motion. Here we'll talk about the cause of circular motion. Now let us recall what is Newton's first law of motion tells us. It says that an object remains in the state of rest or of uniform motion unless and until some external unbalanced force acts on the object. Right? Now, what does this mean? That it means that an object will remain in the state of rest or it will keep on moving with a uniform motion. That means motion in a straight line with constant speed. That means motion with constant velocity unless some net force acts on the object. Getting this? Okay, fine. Now, when the object is performing circular motion, this motion is neither a state of rest, it is neither moving in a straight line with constant velocity, right? So there must be some force acting on the object for the object to perform circular motion. Or you can also think whenever you see any object or any particle performing circular motion, you can say that there must be some force acting on the object. Otherwise, this motion won't be possible. Fine? Okay. Now we have studied about centripetal acceleration that was responsible for circular motion. Now the value of centripetal acceleration was what? It was omega square r or v square upon r or omega into v. And its acceleration was directed towards the center along the radius. Hence it was called as centripetal acceleration. Right? Okay. Now we know Newton's second law of motion. It says that force is equal to mass into acceleration. So if we know acceleration of the particle, to find out the force acting on the particle, we just have to multiply the acceleration with mass. And what about the direction of this force? The direction of this force will be the same as the direction of the acceleration. Getting this? So in this case, the force will be what? Mass into centripetal acceleration. And since the centripetal acceleration direction is towards the center, hence the direction of that force will be also towards the center along the radius, and hence that force will be called as centripetal force. Okay? Okay. So the same thing I have mentioned over here, centripetal force. Now we know that the acceleration responsible for circular motion is called as centripetal or radial acceleration. It is given by these formulas. The force providing this acceleration is called as centripetal force. Now, as we know that force is equal to mass into acceleration, and hence the centripetal force FCP will be what? We have to just multiply these terms with mass m omega square r or mv square by r or m omega v. Now, in vector form, to also denote the direction, I can write FCP is equal to minus m omega square r. The minus sign will indicate that the direction of centripetal force is towards the opposite direction as that of the radius vector or position vector. In this case, the position vector is over here, and hence the centripetal force is opposite to that. That means towards the center, like this. Getting this? Okay. Yeah. Now, what are the examples of this centripetal force? Before that, you can just note down all these things by pausing the video. Okay. Now, for the examples, now we'll think about the objects that we see in our daily life that are rotating or moving in a circular motion. Fine. Now, we can think about the example that an object or a stone is tied to a string, and you are whirling the stone in a circular motion. Now the stone is performing circular motion. Now here, who will provide the centripetal force? The tension in the string will provide the centripetal force. Okay? Now see, the centripetal force is no other some different force like gravitational force or electromagnetic force. The centripetal force it can be any force that provides the circular motion. For example, right now that we were discussing, here the tension in the string will provide the centripetal force. Now another example is that our Earth is also moving in a circular motion around the sun. It is an approximate circular motion. Anyway, now here, who is providing the centripetal force? the gravitational pull of the sun on the earth, that force is providing the centripetal force. So here the gravitational force is working as centripetal force. In our previous case, the tension in the string was working as centripetal force. Okay. Now another example is whenever a vehicle is taking a turn around a curved horizontal road. Again, for that particular moment, it is moving in a circular motion because it is moving along a arc of a circle. There must be some center to the arc. Now, in this case, who is providing the centripetal force? The centripetal force will be provided by the friction between the tires and the road surface. Fine. Okay. So, what was our first example? This was the stone. We were moving in circular motion. The tension in the string will provide the centripetal force. What was our next example? Whenever a vehicle is moving along a circular path. Suppose this is the center of the circular path. Okay. Now the static force of friction between the wheels of the vehicle and the road surface will provide the centripetal force. Or suppose this is the earth and this is sun. Earth is moving around sun. Now who is providing the centripetal force? The gravitational pull of sun on earth is providing the centripetal force. Getting this? Fine. Okay, so this was about centripetal force. Now you can mention this example, you can write down these things and mention the examples. Okay, you can write down the examples in your own words. Fine. Okay. Now tomorrow we'll talk about the centrifugal force. Fine. Okay. Thank you.